Okay, so here we go. Hey, YouTube! Hi, guys. For those of you that don't know me by face, I'm one of the competitors in the VPC and former judges, Steve Cosplay Perry, and this is MC3.
MC3PO. Yeah. What's up?
Immediately on the same line.
Yep.
We're in a group called Death Star, and we're going to be judging this round. Now, I'm going to admit, I'm not going to pay that close attention to the rules. I think my first critique of this round is going to be the round in itself. You asked people to make bangers, but then you asked them to do like a story-related song, which is kind of contrary. Usually the whole rhythm of a banger is built for the beat. It's not really built for the rapping. Then you're like, you want to feature the artist, and you want to feature the artist, and that's super cool. But then that reduces the level of like banger that the beat can even be.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, you take the one biggest thing that most bangers rely on, the hook, and you're like, you can't have a real chorus. It has to be an instrumental riff, which is awesome. But instrumental riff choruses are like high level songwriting. Like a lot of people are like, no, there's tons of people that create instrumental riffs, but like it's something you tend to like happen upon. It's not like made, and it's usually like a choice of the like emotion, like the artists at the time. They're like, no, that lead riff is just too good. We're gonna leave it. And 9 times out of 10, there's still like a little bit of vocal chorus in them. Like just spotty words, and it just kind of rides on the lead riff rather than no words at all. So we're going to be listening to this. Everything's nice and close to the mic, so some of this is going to eat up. So what we're going to do is we're not going to talk, and instead we're going to listen to some of the track, and then we're going to judge it afterward. This first one is Anecdote, and this has Cordless and Artemis on it. And we'll just take a listen. Okay, so MC3PO, what do you think?
I thought it was great. I liked it. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I think what makes that track good is, and other reviews have mentioned this, Cordless is so comfortable with that style of rapping now. It's not like a really like broken, disjointed sort of thing. It feels like that's what is just sort of naturally coming off his head.
Yeah.
It almost feels like he's mastered freestyling, regardless of how fast his brain can think. So when he needs to slow down, and when he slows down, and when he's got like 3 bars to bang out, he bangs them out.
Yeah.
And then Artemis is like one of the best live drum style producers ever. Every beat I've ever heard from him, regardless of if the drums are mechanical or sampled, he loves like moving them around and giving it that like drum kit feed.
Yeah.
That drum kit feel. It's a really like it's a really strong start to the track. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and it's not even that it's badly done, is that the chorus again is just sort of like a kind of a scratch, like hit noise sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine because the verse work is actually so strong, but it doesn't make me want to like pay attention during that time.
Yeah.
And that makes me a little sad. So the next track here, and understand, I don't actually know all of the teams. I just know that one.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's Johnny Hackenslash and Code E, and it's called Aural Sex. Aural, spelled A-U-R-A-L, means audio. Means audio.
I see what they did there.
And I appreciate that, since I'm like the only person who has to pay attention to monaural sound as like a thing.
Menorah sound.
Menorah sound. we go. So that was Oral Sex is the Sound. And yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good song. It's got that kind of storybook rap. It's like somewhere between like a children's tale and like a fucking any of the low voiced white rappers that exist. But like
I feel like that song would go really well over the end credits of like a Spawn movie.
yeah, over the end credits specifically of the Spawn movie.
Yeah.
That one
John Leguizamo.
It's important to mention him every time.
Every time.
It's one of his. It's like next to The Pest. It's his best film. What I do like about that one is that they really took a stab at that riff-based hook. Like that is a very deliberate, like noisy thing. It's a simple enough rhythm or simple enough like riff to remember, and it feels right with the verse rapping.
Yeah.
The bridge, I liked the idea that the bridge has a singing part. I feel like the bridge went high and kind of felt out of tune with it. Out of tune, out of sync with it. Not rhythmically or anything like that. It just didn't have the same. It had the same kind of doom feeling to it, but I feel like just the note choices on the bridge weren't 100% correct. Like it having more of like a low, like even being an octave down might have changed it. It doesn't make me dislike the song. I've actually listened to this one probably one of the most times as opposed to any of the tracks. But yeah, it's Bridge, and it's a good song. It's a good song. So the all singing Needle Drop.
Yeah.
MC3PO, what are your thoughts on a all singing track from a rapper in a nerdcore competition that isn't definitely rap but is predominantly rap?
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Man of Money Word. This is so like you.
Yeah.
MC3PO is known for his verbosity.
Yeah. MC3PO, I think, is known for being a few words and just unconditionally supportive of all artists.
No, it's a good track. Nobody's surprised that it's a good track. Within the rules, there's a question about 3 verses and everything like that, but separately from that, it's a good track.
Yeah.
And so, regardless, it does things. There's nitpicky things and things people could be like, well, I would like it to do this or that. But, like, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that the track will be better. Those are just choices. It's definitely a really strong round. Again.
Like, seeing super on point as usual.
Yep, always.
That BB King guitar sample was great.
Okay, so this is Camouflage Abomination. I'm not 100% sure who's in this. Like, it says it in their tiny SoundCloud image. But...
Suggestion for whoever has the VPC website, put the artist names under the team or something.
Yeah.
I'm into it already.
Yeah.
I like how it starts. A nitpick.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel whenever I hear rapper use yo for a rhyme.
I know, right? Yeah. Like, it's fine if it adds on to, like, a multi, so there was already the pre-rhyme before it.
Yeah. But if that's the entire... Like, that's what I used to do when I was freestyling, and I had no idea what to end my line with.
It's a good track. Like, it's not going to be something that I listen to a bunch, but it's not an abomination. See what I did there? Because it's named Abomination. I'm very funny. That's what I'm known for in Death Star, as being the funny one.
You're the funny one, I'm the supportive one.
You're the supportive, positive one. It's true. Okay, let's move along. Custom prize, Joker, Nightmare on Bourbon Street. I don't really care who's in this team. I'm sure somebody's about to show it to me if they're listening. It is Memory Fades and Untested Methods. Okay.
Custom prize Joker.
Custom prize Joker. I didn't know we were going to listen to a Weird Al Yankovic song.
No, that's all I'm hearing.
I kid you not. The first time I heard this, even though I've heard him sing and he doesn't sing exactly this way, I thought it was MC 117. I was like, this sounds like something he would have fun with.
I'm not hating on it, but there's something about that horn.
Well, it's not near on Bourbon Street, so I assume it's Bourbon Street and it's supposed to be like this jazz horn.
Yeah.
But like, I'm hella. I'm not gonna say I don't like this song so far. I've obviously enjoyed it. I just wanted to. Okay, Bourbon Street. I'm already gonna say it right now. This definitely has one of the most effective chorus hooks because I immediately want to keep listening to it.
Yeah.
You saw our reactions to that song. Like, I'm not going to judge it on quality. I'm not 100% sure that was the right tone of song for that vocal to be singing over. I'm a guy with a weird voice. There's certain song types that I just don't get to sing over, both in tone and in subject matter. It just isn't viable from mine. Not to say that the singing was off key or anything like that. That wasn't what was going on. It was just weird. It was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird. But
there are a lot of like. I think I know what you're trying to describe. There's like I'm trying to pick it apart myself and put it into words, but there's like a certain. It's not a dissonance, but more of a juxtaposition of the kinds of sounds that are being used because there's, like, you touched on it during the hook where there's like that grindy bass, that and then like there's a lot of other parts of the song that sound kind of darkish, but then you have like the singer's voice, and then that
and the big band hits and the whole brass hits.
Yeah,
and so I think together it's really odd. That being said. It didn't make, like, I actually listened to it like, we're trying to get through these reviews, and I listened to it longer than I intended to, so good work. Let's move on to Dappersaurus. Now, this one is Ann Hobbs, and someone that is not Ann Hobbs, the producer, 2 Ton 21. And it's called Savage Heel Turn Mix. Strong air horn game. So we're gonna move on from this one, but thoughts on this track overall? How do you feel about it overall from the first verse?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know that I would listen to it again, but I liked it.
It didn't offend you.
Yeah.
You know, the beat's lackluster. It's lackluster. It's supposed to be like featuring the verse.
Yeah.
But like you can kind of get away with that and not like be that lackluster.
There definitely there's more, I think, to highlighting the vocals on a beat and being minimalistic with the beat in order to do that, other than just pulling everything back so that the vocals are most prominent. There's like beat drops and stuff that you can do. So
but like
that one just kind of just keeps going.
Overall, not offensive.
Yeah.
Dick Gang. They don't want us to eat. You know what? I don't want to know who's in this band. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna listen. We're gonna listen to Dick Gang.
I bet I could guess.
So the vocalist for Dick Gang is Ekaz the Verbal Mirage, and the producer is Krivis. Dog bark's not part of the track.
My inner juggler is looking at this.
This beat doesn't make any sense for this. This is such an anti-humor song.
Right. my god.
So
Yes.
we're gonna pause it there.
Golden buzzer.
Golden buzzer. They're going straight through to the live shows. Fuck. So there's a lot wrong with this track, but I pray that it has. So if this was an honest effort, I'm going to say I'm sorry right now, because I'm going to treat it as if it weren't. If it was an honest effort, you're terrible. Stop it. If it was a joke, like if it was like done with a smirking humor, even if that's like normally your rapping voice and everything, but you're like, let's do like a smooth groove beat to this because it'll be weird, and let's go as aggressive as we can against that beat, because then that's fine. This is amazingly poor. It's like nothing but poor production oversight choices on the track. They're like, who's that grooving in there? Yeah, we need some Clown Posse style vocals on that shit. Get that groove. The lyrics.
The lyrics are so... I don't know how to describe it, but they're not great, but they manage to like... I don't know how to...
They feel right.
Yeah.
They feel correct. Like the vocalist sounds like those are the lyrics the vocalist is going to rap.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping a gun strapped under the pillow, shark amongst minnows. God, it just opens up.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay. So in contrast, Dystopia, a fistful of ballers, whose MC is MC117 and whose producer is Flex Style. Which is a great producer name.
I'm just picturing him as being swole as hell right now.
Just super like bo like swole, just big.
Yeah.
Already. Old Western guitar.
Yeah.
That bass line, though.
Yeah.
In consideration of time. So that's fantastic. I've actually listened to this track a lot too. It's kind of butthole surfery, like it's kind of mountain surfery and everything like that.
117 on this track reminds me a bit of that one song. What's it? He's going the distance.
Yeah, Cake.
Yeah. It's a bit of Cake.
It's very much like alt non-rap rapping on like alt rock songs, which I think is cool. Like MC117 is not afraid to sing. He's fantastic. He's always outside, and he's always like a VPC favorite because he's not going to come at you with like a style that is definitely going to repeat itself or like a song that you expect. And having a nice old Western dark theme. It's a lot similar to the second track that we listened to by who is it, Johnny Hackenslash?
Yeah.
And Code E. The oral sex one. Whereas that one was like a lot more horror. This one was like a lot more Western and just kind of dark fairy tale.
Like it could be rolling over the credits of like Wild Wild West reboot.
The new series, Westworld, the new HBO series of Westworld. Put it on the end of that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. See, I like this one because the team name is the EL and Solo, so that are in Solo Act, so that gives you it, and it's Legends of Nerdcore.
Volume 1.
Volume 1. There'll be more volumes, I assume.
I hope each round is just Volume 2.
Oh, that would be such a strong choice. Okay, so first thoughts on the track. Overall thoughts, I should say.
Overall thoughts, like some really, really tight rhyme scheme work. I liked it. It was complex but easy to follow, and I really liked that little cut each time before the hook to like nerdcore.
Which makes sense. It's Legends of Nerdcore Volume 1. So this is the kind of band that I would like book to open with, or to like play with, not even necessarily open, but play with Death Star. Like it feels very, it's a song about nerdcore from nerdcore artists. Is like the first verse is all about discovering like rap. It's very old school nerdcore. That being said, as far as subject matter, that being said, it's good. Like I feel like I want this on a verse. I want to rap on this song, and so I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It's very much like sit and listen. It's not a banger, but I've given up on that being functional for any kind of storytelling song that features the rapper. State of Rebellion, Lady J and Benjamin Banger. Ooh.
Now this is still great, but piggybacking off of my earlier comment about the instrumental hook, like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like it's more instrumental and it's like change up, but there's no like recognizable melody for like the lines to hook onto.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Faded Rebellion. Oh my Jesus. Yeah, that is a banger. That is what that is. It's very aggressive and enthusiastic vocals. It's actually got a lot going on instrumentally. It's not in the way of vocal production or vocal listening, but the production, the audio production on the vocals was a little muddy.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, got in the way a little bit. But like overall, like, I mean, you saw us. We're both immediately like, Just throwing out a little bit of an ugly face.
Looking forward to more. What was that?
Faded, yeah, Jesus. Cosplay and MC3PO think you're fantastic, and I'm sure that's why you got into rapping, is so that
for our approval.
Yeah. So that like one day, some neck-bearded fat white kid from the suburbs is gonna think, yeah, yeah, I'm into this.
I made it.
Yeah, I made it. Flying Fortress. Flying Fortress, you are Ilgil Lamar Glover. Not really feeling this Casio keyboard beat.
Yeah. I was saying the same thing. I was like, I'll wait it out and see if like that's doing its thing and it develops more. But yeah, it's Ilgil is doing the best he possibly can with it, at least. So.
Yeah, right.
It's supposed to be an instrumental hook.
But got like a low note.
So the hook's supposed to still be like the hook.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember that in their heads after.
They're like, what about that portion where the song just like stops? That I'm gonna say it so far. That is the worst track of the round so far for me. And it has a lot to do with the production. It really didn't. It's broken. It doesn't work, and it needs to be tossed out if it doesn't work. Like you just go to a 4 on the floor or just like a dance beat. Would have been better than that, because those wouldn't have inhibited the songs. They just wouldn't have added to it.
I think the biggest weakness with the beat is that it feels really directionless. There's no like sense of progression or anything to it. It's just kind of there and keeping time.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. So let's go on to Go to Bread. 01 intro.
Yeah, right, bread. You said go to bread.
So this is already getting me excited because of Poobly Kids from last year. Any Simpsons reference? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, childhood.
This feels like it could be on the end credits of like a Saturday morning TV show. Like not this.
See, this is a no-no. Because if this isn't Dynamo just doing a voice, This is not one rapper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. So it's a no-no. It makes it a bad for the competition rules. But overall, as a track, how do you feel about it?
I liked it. It was it almost lost me right at the beginning with the cool school, and but I was like, I held out because I was like, maybe he's doing a thing, and sure enough, he was.
Oh,
and the song kind of developed from there.
So the next one is Hell If I Know. That's Adam, Celine, and Navi. A lot of hype for this track.
I like that.
Yeah, this starts really strong.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up right now. When in a competition about listening to songs where there's a lot of tracks to listen to, if you're trying to compete in the competition portion of it, don't bury your chorus 2 verses deep. There's a reason pop standards kind of live for hip hop in certain ways, and the standard like core was 16/8, 16/8. You can do 12s and you can do 8s, and you can go 24 too if it's a fairly fast beat. But there's like an impatience. I know what chorus is going to happen, and it's happening now.
So this is weird, but it's giving me a very 2001 vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm going through space and just not comprehending what I'm seeing.
I'm not surprised. It's Navi. So overall, I like the track. I don't like it for a competition track. It's not shocking enough for its weirdness to be as exciting as I want it to be. Apparently, the votes disagree. They think it's an 8.5 or 9. Yeah, 8.5. So it's currently rated at an 8.5 from the audience, and because it's capable. I don't
It
know.
looks like it's rated at a 118.
No, that's how many votes we're taking. MC3PO, we know you're the dumb one of the band.
Okay. But yeah, the production is very weird, but in ways that like really work for it. I really like what's done with it, and I like the song overall. I think this is one of the stronger tracks definitely like one of the strongest tracks that I've heard so far.
And that's why you're wrong. No, it's good, but like for me, and everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Navi. I like theater in my weirdness, and that wasn't as theatrical. It wasn't as Bohemian Rhapsody or Meatloafy or Queenie to get my juices going.
It's more theatrical in like
yeah, like you said,
slam poetry kind of way.
Yeah. The rapping was fine. The rapping was good. Good work. JC Bless. Oh, because it's like seedless. With Broken Pixels and DJ Seedless. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. This is The Origin, which is what the track type is supposed to be about.
Is this the verse or the hook?
I don't know. I guess we have to keep listening.
Yeah.
No, I can't even get to the. No. So here's the deal. If we were real judges, I would have listened to the song at least once the way through. But we're not real judges. We're listeners, reviewing the tracks. And if you make me definitely not want to listen to a track within the first minute of it, then it's not a good track. I don't care what happens later. So many people aren't going to get there later. If that was your artistic intent and that's you want to be you, great. But I didn't like it.
Yeah, that was could use some work.
Very, very political of you. Okay, Magical Beer Squad, Magical Beer Squid. This is Twill Distilled and Stephen Brunton.
I feel like this could definitely be one of those Adult Swim shorts background tracks.
I'm gonna stop it there. don't, unless you have been told, oh, your British accent is excellent. Don't wedge it into hip hop. It just doesn't. You don't have enough time to do it. Like, it took Peter Dinklage like 5 seasons of Game of Thrones to get to a British accent. So like,
is full distilled British?
no, Twill is American.
Okay.
But I think Stephen Brunton is British.
Oh, okay.
And so like
I
when she
see.
was speaking as him, because she had to
Okay.
write those portions. She's like does like a little British accent. It continues in pieces in the thing. Not my jam. I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of that style of delivery. I'm not against Twill Distilled Death Star's Hatter on track. Hatter on our most recent release, or our most recent significant release, and everything. And so I'm not against Twill. But that being said, and no, it's just not my jam. It's not my jam.
Yeah, it's a fine song, but I'm just my personal taste. I'm not about that like kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but it kind of lilting, like da 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 da, like that kind of delivery and flow.
No cute shit, all bangers from Lavos and Hormones. Now, I'm going to probably say something negative about Hormones, and Hormones is probably not going to react in this. There's no like beef here. I've never been that big of a fan of Hormones. And every time that something critically is said about Hormones doesn't just ignore it or just say, well, that's your opinion, and then move on. I've listened to this track already. I'm already shading it. Always
read the comments.
Always read the comments.
I'm having a hard time making out a lot of the lyrics.
Yep. How funny would it be if that was the lyric?
Just that, like,
that little piece. MC3PO.
I feel like it felt like there were some good lines in the lyrics, but I just couldn't make out enough. I don't know if it's a mic technique thing or a production thing, but a lot of the words were lost. I liked what I could hear of it, and the only other thing I'd say is that like it doesn't change. Like it just kind of the flow and everything. It just kind of keeps going. So like my mind started to wander near the end.
Yep. Okay, I don't need to know the team name for Oh My. I One Up. Ohm I One Up. It's just the way it's written. It's Ohm-I One Up. So that's what I'm going to call them from now. Ohm Up. This is Oh My and One Up. Let's listen to Cougar Flirting.
They could have done like Ohm Up or I One.
No, that's not how they roll. They flipped this time. They were the opposite roles last VPC.
Oh, okay.
Accurate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Melanin is what he's talking about. He's talking about melanin.
And also, we all saw that battle video where he had the towel and his dick was hanging out below it. Also, an electrical engineering degree.
True. Okay, so I have to say this, and I don't say it enough. One Up Oh My always sounds to me like what he does is he raps his songs in reverse with all the phonemes in reverse, and then someone flips it. It always sounds like he's like revving to words. It's such a like not in his pacing. It's not his cadence, although that does affect it. It's just the way the words come out of his mouth, and it's such a interesting way for, like, it's such a like it draws me in immediately. Like each word is almost like being pulled out of the front of his mouth, and then his throat backs it up, and it's so neat sounding that I love it. What did you think about the beat, MC3PO?
I like the beat. I like the beat work a lot. The hook was good. I can't really place. There's like, I don't know. There's like a criticism somewhere lurking in there. Not a big one, but I can't.
I'm sure the criticism is like the hook was only extremely listenable, guys, because MC3PO is way too nice on this. I expected a little bit more from it. That's not the fault of it is the fault of the group because they were fantastic last year. And I've heard better from both of them. That being said, this is a serviceable track. It's funny. It's it's exactly kind of the tone I expected them to take.
Oh, yeah.
Cougar flirting.
Yeah.
This next group is called White Appropriation, and it's
Wait, who's on this?
Cosplay and Zilla Persona. No, it's called Pastrami. It's actually called For Pastrami, but Pastrami with a 4 in it. And the song is called Meet Cute. And I'm just going to listen to it.
Oh man, that's super weird. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that you're using just like the kind of flow and stuff that you're using is very different from what you usually do, or like from. It felt like you tried something different.
So yeah, that's the track.
I'm gonna have to give it 0 stars for the lack of quadruple vocals.
I didn't have to sing on this one.
And demand.
I didn't have to sing on this one.
Hey, no one had to sing on them, but we just had 2 singing tracks, so bet. Theory destroyed.
Theory destroyed. Yeah, I'm not going to comment too much on this. Currently, its popular vote rating is 7 out of 10, and I think that that's fair. I'd live on it in the middle, 6 or 7 out of 10. None of that is Zilla's fault. He delivers a very weird and perfect beat for my vocals. He like nailed it. And I will say there was one review from Forrest Stavorge who said that this might be like weird because it's like 100% honest. It is. There is nothing in there that isn't like that is from start to finish all just true things about me and Zilla. Because I tried to write fun post-apocalyptic stuff like I normally would do and everything, and I was crapping out. So I decided in this song, with this beat, I would be as emotionally honest as possible and just biopic us. Raw Crow, Strange Encounter, and this is Rhyme Artist and Angry Crow. So R.A. and Crow, I'm sure is what Raw stands for.
First I prayed.
Well, not. I like that this is only 2 minutes. You'd be surprised how that changes things when there's a dense amount of tracks to listen to. I want to like this more than I do. Like this highly caffeinated Snoop Dogg.
So there's.
We'll let it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm with you on that. Like, I want to like it more than I do. I think there's a lot of. I don't want to say potential. There's a lot of things that the rapper and the producer are doing right, but they whiff on a few things. Like the biggest thing that I could think of is how the rapper was it Rhyme Artist?
Yeah.
Like there's a few points where they do that thing that where a rapper just kind of tries to shove more syllables into a line than they should because they're trying to get to the rhyme that they thought of.
Yeah.
And it's like it's something that we're all familiar with, but you gotta be more judicious with your word choice.
Yeah, your editing has to be better. I call it word crushing.
Yeah.
You just crush words in and shove them in to get them there, rather than do what happens where you time shift your flow so that you can like chop it up really fast.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to be mastering.
Yeah.
MC3PO is fucking with some coals.
Yeah.
Let's do overall. A lot of potential, not a lot of that potential executed. I even really like the beat. But again, the finesse is not there. The post-production is not there. Saints of San Sequestro, the background. This is Jason Likens and Max Ermey. I recognize those names. They are normal Caucasian names. As did this flow start in 1984.
Also, I gotta say, if you're gonna start your song by saying, "I hope I'm not gonna be hella boring," it's not a strong start. Even if it's ironic.
Do we have a hook coming?
Quarter notes. Well, no, it's okay.
And then there's that thing. There's the thing that you keep talking about, where they're like, it's just melody. It's not like a riff.
Yeah.
Maybe it breaks through a riff here. Okay, so best part about that was that last part.
Yeah.
Sorry, not. He did it. He chose quarter notes every time. Eggs and ham and bacon and some toast instead. I will go to the market. Don't do that. Don't do that a whole time. That is a great thing to do as a piece of a song. Like when you've really been playing with the flow, and then you want to like feel like you're just like hitting it hard for like 4 bars. That is awesome.
Yeah,
that
has to be a clear choice. That
and it can be really fun. Or starting it like that, like you started it hella basic like that, and then evolved really fast. That would have been cool. That would have been a great mislead. And when it worked with the boring line, where we're all like, uh-oh, and then you don't make it boring, but you did make it boring. SXOC. Art of Foreplay. This is Jolimus's track, right? So Jolimus's producer didn't show up.
Oh shit.
So this is a complete acapella with no production. It's just him with his vocals recorded.
And the producer's supposed to be XOC?
No, I don't know. He's just missing in action. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there.
I love how the parts that are supposed to have the hooks are just silent.
So, as a Catholic, the Eucharist / removal of the wine chalice to his dick is just the strongest way to end a verse ever. Jolimus is the 13-year-old boy in all men's hearts. Where he's like, I'm just gonna rap a song about me fucking chicks. I'm gonna reference boobs and butts a lot. Lay down. Lay down. There you go. But that being said, I can't really rate this track because there's no real production. Jolimus raps like Jolimus, and sometimes a producer can take that and turn out a really good track, and sometimes they don't. But the first verse was funny, so there you go. Fucked his way across town because they didn't want to let him down. Swerve, the origin story. This is Josh Crow and Chuck Vaughn. These guys sound like musicians. I thought my beat, I thought Pastrami's beat was like hella fat tubby. Are we gonna get trapped as fuck in a moment? Is that what's gonna happen?
Feels like it's accelerating.
Yeah, I feel like I'm listening to an electronica song from the late 90s, early aughts. Like it's gonna build. Are we gonna get the little the building snare clicks or hats?
Nope, this is where it
lives.
Yep. Okay.
Bus rides, us guys. Gotta get to the hook.
Yeah.
So this track doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything vocally. It doesn't do anything production-wise. It's a little slow. It's not dynamic.
It's like, it's good, but it's, like, if I listened to this all the way through, I would probably be left with the impression it's like, oh, it's a good track, but, like, nothing that really, like, surprised or wowed me. And it's also, probably wouldn't listen to it again, but I'd be like, all right, cool.
Team Fat Smith. Who's in Team Fat Smith? Team Fat Smith is Caleb Smith and Orion Tooley. Probably the best entry.
Oh, you can't talk to them, that's because you're not the vocalist. That's admirable. You show true dedication to the craft. Now shut the fuck up so I can rap this.
I love the beat. I love that they call it out before it happens. Well before. It still gets so good.
Okay, we got to pause for time, but okay, so thoughts MC3PO.
So I love everything about the beat and the production of it, especially just the heavy like hitting of the verse parts, and the rap part could use some work. It's almost there. It's like the most succinct way I can put it.
It is.
Yeah.
So we talked about this with the very first track, with Cordless's track.
Yeah.
So like when you're trying to rap like this, where it's almost like narrative rapping, and you have a lot of flexibility in your flow. That's awesome, but like that's such a hard mode to rap on.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be like, okay, this is how I'm playing with the rhythm exactly every, for this 4-bar and then this 4-bar and then this evolves off to this. There's a lot of potential, but yeah, the rapping wasn't there. I did not think that's so you go into the chorus, he starts making jokes about the chorus, and he's like, you're not going to do that pretentious thing where producers do this big move, then shout their name right before. And I'm like, this is kind of a done to death joke. And then DJ Fat White hits, and I lost it. That was amazing. And then the cut to the style, like it does lambaste that.
Yeah.
I feel like right now we currently see a 5 out of 10 for the rate voting. I feel like this track is actually a little bit more toward the 6 out of 10. Not a lot higher, but I would probably, if I were rating it, I would rate it there because I think that it has a lot more potential than a lot of like very average, forgettable tracks. And there's parts of it like the producer drop. That really do actually like are memorable moments of it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's on the high end of average.
Yeah.
Versus there.
So yeah, it's got an average rating right now of 43 votes. I would probably give it maybe 70 votes personally.
70. I love how you have decided it's not the fire symbols, it's just the amount of people that have voted for it.
If they give it to you in the numbers.
43 votes, not as high as many votes as I would have given it. It's not like a yes/no system. Okay, so this next group is Team Starbo Rob, which is comprised of Chadley and Lady Chadley. Let's take a listen. Well, all I know is that like, if this is like what I expect from a Chadley level track.
Yo, I'm a rapper, and yo, my name's Chadley.
So I'm definitely in a Sega game.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm playing a Sonic level right now.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah. One of the Tails levels where he's flying the blast by plane.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of crushing there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to step in here. So Robo Rob is a mixed bag producer for me. I'm not a producer. He can call me out on not being able to do what I'm critiquing. But he's a mixed bag producer for me. Sometimes I really like a beat from him, sometimes I don't. That's going to happen with almost everybody. It even happens with me and Bill Beats, where he'll make something and I'll be like, meh. This is not one of those beats. I really like this beat. I like it. It's like we said, it feels like Sega. It feels like Sega. It works. You actually took into account like your vocalist in the way that like what is her voice going to sound like it goes over, which is good. Unlike the by making it sound kind of Sega, it steps away from the Stephen Brunton problem where it just sounded like electronic and like glitchy and chippy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then female Chadley, Sarby, is good. She's serviceable on it. Again, she runs into a style of it's not as cheeky, I guess.
Yeah.
But and you know, you can only do so much with a voice. I can definitely express that I can only rap in the voice that I given by our Lord Jesus Christ. But like again, I'm not in love with it.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with it.
Yeah, I feel you on the style. Like, as far as that, this, like, style of delivery goes, though, like, this is, like, probably the best, it's the one that I like the best, like, of the best example. I don't know.
It's that sort of bouncy,
she makes it work.
Yeah, bouncy style, and I think what makes it work too is that the beat like it's what you expect to come over that beat.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't expect
they work together really well.
Which makes sense. They're married. And the song is super sweet because it's about a couple coming together and being in love and all that gay shit. Anyway, I said gay shit on purpose as a commentary to their hetero relationship.
And as you know,
don't shake your head.
Homosexual poops.
Sexual poops.
And heterosexual poops.
And heterosexual poops. Okay, we got two more teams, and then MC3PO's got to go take care of his kid.
This is it the Go Hammereye?
Hammereye, the Go Hammereye. This is Ashita and Scotty with Scotty Woo, and it's Ashita.
From Linkin Park?
Yes, from Linkin Park.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got Linkin Park involved in this. They're like, well, our music sucks, so we might as well be nerdcore. This is really aggressive. It's that chorus thing again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just.
It's just dark. It's just dark Asian clown music. No, those are two different genres. I don't know. I'm old, so I don't need to be that angry about things. It seems very confrontational as a thing, which is cool, but I don't think the beat backs it up. I don't think it does. I don't think that they work together.
Yeah, and especially when it gets to the hook, like the beat feels like it just continues. There's no like, it didn't feel like there was an attempt to make a hook from it. If there was, then I'm sorry, but it just
Attempt failed.
Yeah, it didn't seem to need that. But my inner juggler really likes the song overall.
I like that you're an inner juggler. I like that you're open about that part of you.
Yeah. I've always said embrace it. It's part of who I am as MC3PO.
If there's any, hey, MC3PO said many times he's a huge fan of horrorcore.
Yeah.
And you're admitting it live on camera right now.
Exactly. Why not?
I know who this group is.
West Coast Finest.
And West Coast Finest. This is of course Shubzilla and Bill Beats. Shubzilla's a personal friend of Death Star, and
Bill Beats is our DJ.
So like, we're probably not going to be very objective about. He's ours. We own him. We lease him out to Shubzilla. Nonetheless, let's hear their track, title track.
I know Nick's been playing with like synth stuff. Did he play this or did this being so far?
I don't know. Okay, so let's first talk about. Here, I'm going to let you go first, MC3PO.
The two main things on my mind are I wonder if Nick understood the hook challenge, and shit, I forget what the other thing was, but go ahead.
So they put vocals in the hook, and whereas I'm fine with like if it had introed in with just West Coast Finest and then not repeated at that point, that I would have called that good. Or if the West Coast Finest was stripped and screwed so much. Separately from that, though, because we are judging these just generally as listenable tracks, I think that Shubzilla should have put her first 4 bars in the middle of the track, or of the first verse, between stanza, I want to say stanza 3 and stanza 4, and started it with stanza 2, not in lyrics but in flow cadence. It sort of builds and builds and builds, but because the beat doesn't exactly have a very fast thing, it takes a bit to get there. And then those more like direct, like front of on the one bars that were more rigid would have been a nice breakup between stanzas 2 and 3, or as stanza 3 between 3 and 4 as they stood. It's about arrangement and everything like that. I also would have liked more evolution on the beat. I know that they went on tour, so they had 2 weeks to do it and everything. But if we're just talking about like what I think as far as not knowing anything on the track, I would have expected a bit more evolution on the beat in the verse. If it is him doing the synthy piano part, that's cool. But it still needs to evolve a little bit more. And then, of course, it's the standard Bill Beats, fantastic vocal production, fantastic overall track leveling. Feels like it's properly done in a studio.
I would give this 91 votes.
Right now it has a 7 out of 10 fires on.
That's 54 votes.
I'm talking about the fire method. You do your vote method. Let me do. And 7 out of 10
My method
fires.
is the right method.
I feel like that's about where it is. I don't feel like it would take a lot of time to get it to like an 8 or 9 out of 10 track, with a bit more love and care. And I also feel like it's 6 minutes long. We didn't listen to 6 minutes of it, but it is in fact over 6 minutes long. It's a lot. It's like 4 minutes long, and then it's like 2 minutes of scratch fun at the end, which actually is fine. I'm actually fine with that because if you don't want to listen to it, you skip forward. That's you just stop listening to it. You're not. It doesn't feel like I'm like cutting out a portion of the song. That being said, it's 6 minutes long. I don't like 6 minute long metal songs. And there's like 8 movements in those kinds of metal songs. So my attention span waned when I listened to it a little bit toward the end. But like I said, so that's it. That's VPC round 1 from MC3PO and cosplay of Death Star. As always, you're all terrible children, and you'll notice that I released this toward the end of voting, because fuck you. If I don't like your track and that makes you vote lower for me, you gotta be on top of watching the video fast enough to be spiteful like that.
Follow your dreams.